I'm going to be doing another unboxing, opening and testing of a product. This is a knife sharpener which I've bought from Temu. It's advertised at £17.30, but because it's Temu and they do lots of crafty trickery with you, I think I ended up paying about £7 for it. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I've never used one of these before. Let's find out. So here it is in the box. I haven't even undone the seal yet, so you can see it is brand new. What does it say on the outside? Country of origin, made in China. No surprise with it being Temu. Just going to open that. The box seems of reasonable quality, I have to say. It's well packaged. So I've got this here. And that's the instructions. And there is this, a bit of foam. And this is the sharpener. Note it's like a barrel. It rolls and it's got plastic caps on either end. There are two different sides to it. One of them has got like a sandy paper texture, and this one, actually that's like a more harsh sandpaper texture. That's definitely not as harsh on that side. They will have proper names. And then you've got this block. This block has two different angles, 20 degrees and 15 degrees. Now I've just been reading up on these online, and it turns out that for everyday usage you should use the 15-degree side of this and the 20-degree side for knives which are specialist knives. So I'm going to put that down just there. There's nothing else in the packaging, so I'm going to get rid of that. And let's have a look at the instructions. So there we go. It's very straightforward. Obviously don't put your thumb on top of the knife. But this is literally what you do, and I'm going to go through it with you right now. So the two different sides to this, the smoother side and the rougher side. This is the side, the rougher side, that you sharpen your knife with, and then you finish it off with the smoother side. That's what the instructions are telling me. Okay, so there's the roller. It rolls independently. These spin round on the side just there, on both sides. That's the smoother side and that's the rougher side. I'm just going to give it a little wash. So here's a knife out of my drawer, and if I put it flat on this work surface like it instructs you to, watch what happens when it gets near the block. It's magnetised. So that will hold it in place, and in fact I'm going to leave it there because that's nice and sturdy. I need to find the rough side of this, which is this side, and it instructs you to go up and down right to the tip. I'll show you the tip, right to the tip and back to the handle, all the way from the tip to the handle, tip to handle, and keep going up and down. Right, I'm going to do this for about 2 minutes. I watched a YouTube video and it said for the first time to do it for 5 to 6 minutes with a different brand one. That seems a bit excessive, so I'm just going to do it for 2 minutes, so I'll come back to you in 2 minutes time. Okay, that's been about 2 minutes, so I'm now going to turn it over to the smoother side, and I'm going to do it for 1 minute on the smoother side. So I'll come back to you when I've done that. Okay, that's a minute on that side done. Now what I've got to do is to turn the knife around, so the pointy end is now facing me. Again, it magnetises. I've got to find the rough side, which is this side, and I've got to repeat the process now from this side. And because this is a longer blade and I want to make sure I'm making contact with it, I'm going to put my thumb behind the blade to keep it in place. No danger in me doing that, by the way. I'm way below the sharp bit. And I'm now going to go up and down for another 2 minutes on this side. So I'll come back to you then. Okay, that's 2 minutes on that side, so I'm going to slow that down and turn it over to the smooth side. And another minute. I'll come back to you then. Right, that's a minute done on the smooth side. So let's have a little look at the block and the knife now, because I want you to see that this here is the steel filings from the knife, and because the block's magnetised, they've stuck onto it, I can move them around. There you can see that is literally the steel filings. So all of this is going to need a wipe, and in the case of the knife, a wash. The magnet's really strong on it actually, and it needs to be, I guess. So I'm just going to wash the knife and then wipe it, because you don't want steel filings in your food. So I'm just going to wipe the knife from the back with a bit of blue roll just there. And this was dull, this was a blunt knife. I want to see now if it's any good. I'm going to get a tomato. So the classic tomato test with my newly sharpened knife. Does it feel like it's a sharp knife? I'm just going to go gently down it. And I'm going to say, no, it doesn't. No, that's taken more pressure than what it should have done to cut through the tomato skin. So at this point, I'm not that impressed. I wonder if I need to sharpen these for longer. So when I looked at these on the internet, and it wasn't Temu branded ones, it was different ones, but it wouldn't surprise me if they all came from the same factory. The guy that was showing how to use one was doing it for 5 to 6 minutes on each side. Now I've just done 2 minutes on each side with the rough end and 1 minute with the other. So I'm wondering whether I do actually need to do 5 to 6 minutes. So I'm going to do it again and again. I'll come back to you when I've sharpened it for 5 to 6 minutes on each side, and then we'll see what it's like. Right, this has had a good going over now. There's plenty of steel filings on the knife, I don't know if you can see them on the camera or not, and also on the block. I'm going to give these a wash and just wipe the knife down like I did last time from the back. Okay, let's try the tomato test again. Right, here goes. I'm just gentle. Oh, now that is a difference. I was not putting any pressure on that. I was just pushing it back and forwards. And that one has gone through nicely. Now I could tell the difference straight away there. See how thin I can do it. Yeah, very thin. I'm barely putting any pressure on the knife. Yeah, that has made a difference. So it does need 5 to 6 minutes. So it's quite a labour intensive thing. You've got to be doing up and down. I mean, thankfully I've been doing it with a podcast playing in the background, which you've not heard. So it's time consuming, but I guess it's not something that you have to do all of the time. But I am going to do a few more knives and then come back to you with my overall thoughts. So I'll see you in a bit. It's such a nice day. I thought I'd move activities outside into the garden. The longer knives are taking about 12 minutes each, and the short ones, like this one, about 10. 4 down and 4 to go. So it is a bit of a long job the first time you do it. I'll come back to you when they're all done. Right, that's all my knives done. They were no problem whatsoever. They were no problem whatsoever. These 3 were more of a problem because they are not as tall as what the edge of the knife block is. So if I just show you this, for example. Now when I'm rolling, obviously, then this is where the contact is being made rather than on the knife. So I've had to raise the knife up, and then it kept slipping down. Sorry, camera angle not very good here. I had to raise the knife up and then it kept slipping down. It wasn't brilliant, so I'm not sure how good these 3 will be. But I'm confident that they should be okay, and hopefully they should be okay. But as you can see, there's lots of steel shavings around. Yeah, this is covered in steel dust. So it really is actually taking the metal down. So that is an encouraging sign. So I'm going to give everything a clean and then come back to you. Right, I've cleaned up all the knives and I'm now going to test them out by cutting up some bits of veg. I know what the knives were like before. They were pretty rubbish, so I'll know if they've improved or not, and then I'll be able to give you my final opinion on the knife sharpener. So I'm going to start with the largest knife, and I always use a tomato for this kind of test because the skin of the tomato offers a little bit of resistance, but really it's micro thin, so this should hopefully be able to get through it without any problem at all. So let's see what happens. Do I feel that this has done anything? And you know what? It's not bad, but not great. No, I don't think it's sharpened it that brilliantly. I'm not impressed. So that's one. Number 2. Look at that, it's not really. Nope, not impressed. Number 3. Right, I want to try a different side to the tomato. Now that one's gone through okay. That one seemed to be a little bit better. So yeah, okay, so that one okay. We'll try this one now. And that is, yeah, now that one is really sharp. I can feel, so I bet it's down to the actual metal itself, the steel, and it's possible that some of these just need a bit longer, but that one is really good. Let's try another one. This is the one I think is going to be no good because I really struggled sharpening it, but let's see. Yeah, nothing, so rubbish. Try this one. Yeah, that's gone through nicely. That felt pretty good actually. You could feel the, you know, I don't know what the right word is, but you could feel as it cut through there, and I really didn't put much force on that at all, so happy with that one. And there's 3 smaller ones. Well, this one I think should be okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's... No, it's, somewhere in between. Sitting on the fence with that one. This one, let's have a look. Rubbish, nothing, no. And finally, this one. Yeah, I can feel the sort of, you can feel the metal gripping into the skin of the tomato. Yeah, that's okay. So, right, so the tomato test is done. Not very scientific, but you know, that's what I've done. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 knives which I think have sharpened pretty well. I've got 3 knives which I don't feel have sharpened that well at all, and I've got 2 knives which are completely rubbish. So is the rolling knife sharpener from Temu any good? I'm not really convinced that it's great. It has sharpened the knives, but it was a heck of a lot of work. I've spent a couple of hours messing around with that, and I don't feel like I've got that much out. In fact, I've got 4 out of 9 knives which I feel are actually quite good, but 5 which seem pretty rubbish. So yeah, I'm not convinced, I'm going to be honest with you. I think if I really wanted a knife sharpener, an effective knife sharpener, I probably wouldn't be looking on Temu for it. So try it for yourself, see what you think. Maybe I just need to spend a lot more time sharpening these, but I'm not massively convinced that this is a great and an effective knife sharpener. Okay, see you on the next film.